surprised, and I didn't have my phone in my holder yet, so bear with me for just a second. Okay, now I should be good. Let me adjust this just a bit. Hello, everybody. All right, I am pretty excited to be here tonight. I've been working all day, getting stuff done for our new catalog launch or new products launch party. Need to get a handle on that. All right, I don't see, if anybody's there, let me know, please. Leave me a comment, because my iPad is so old that it takes so long. Oh, Amy, thank you so much. To actually the iPad's literally right behind my phone, but it takes like 30 seconds from my phone to send the stream to the iPad. So I should be able to one more time maybe refresh this thing, and then hopefully, yep, there we are. Yay! I think it's gonna work. You never know. Every time you go live, you're just always like, fingers crossed. Is it gonna work? Is it not gonna work? Okay, and then for some reason, it starts out and it goes really, really big, and then I can't see the comments. So we're gonna hope that it, oh, I think it's gonna work. I think. Skip that. Oh, there's always an ad that has to play in the beginning. I don't know why. It's a YouTube thing. Thankfully, we can skip it, right? Okay. Oh, there's lots of you guys that are on here commenting. Oh, good, 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 good. Thank you so much. Okay, check everything. Everything looks good. Yay! So how is everyone doing? I hope you've had a good week. Mary Ellen says she's flying. She's in California, flying to Rapid City for a weekend of fun this weekend. That sounds very fun. Hopefully you guys in California still sending lots and lots of prayers and thoughts out to all of you that were affected. If any of you are watching, which I mean, obviously, if you were affected, you're probably not watching. But if you are, just please know that I am thinking of you and praying for you constantly, that things work out for everyone down there. So hopefully that's good. We are supposed to get a storm, I believe, coming in, which again, I'm fine with. I have no problem with storms. I'm just happy to get the moisture. So hopefully it just, it stays kind of cool. It's actually supposed to be really cold this weekend. I think I saw something that overnight, like Sunday into Monday, it's supposed to be like -20. Woohoo! Good thing I don't sleep outside, right? Otherwise, I'd be a little bit cold probably. So that was interesting. Oh, I just realized I don't have my second light on, or my third light, I guess. We kind of need more light, the better, as my brother always says. He's a couple years younger than me, but I think his vision is way worse than mine. Oh, look at that, a dust bunny flying around. Oops. Yeah, his vision is way worse than mine. So he's always like, more light, more light, more light, more light. So I totally get it now that I'm getting a little older and my eyes are a little bit crappy. Debbie says, how do I deal with the cold? Well, Debbie, I stay in the house. Usually we are aware that it's coming. Like they'll say, oh, just plan for some super cold weather over the weekend. And so if I need anything, I'll just go to the store. Like tomorrow, I would go to the store. And then, there's nothing that unless I had to go to the hospital or something, there'd be no reason that I'd have to leave my house. Cause it's not like I don't have food. It might not be food I really want to eat, but I have plenty of food. And necessities like toilet paper, stuff like that, I have plenty of. So I typically just don't go outside. My husband, unfortunately, will have to work, so he'll get to go out and play around in that. So that's always fun for him. But no, I usually stay home in the house, and I work in my basement. I'm usually in this basement probably, I swear, 12, 13 hours a day. Anyway. Oh, Wendy is seeing the old rub-ons that Stampin' Up! Used to sell a long, long time ago. Yeah, gosh, that's so long ago, because this cabinet came with me from my old house. We moved into this house in 2009. So that cabinet came with us. And so those were on there since before 2009. So yeah, I also have them on my shower door in the bathroom right behind me. I have a stand-up shower in there that has glass windows or whatever on it. And I have some flowers along the bottom. The flowers were like, what was that color? Oh, I think Pretty in Pink was one of the colors. And then the other color was maybe like some kind of minty kind of green. I don't think it was called mint green, but It was something. Anyway, yeah. So, and I have a few other ones. I have something right above my head here that you guys can't see that says so many toys, so little time. And I think it was supposed to be like for a kid's room, you know what I mean? But it is quite appropriate for a stamp room. So anyway, yeah, that was kind of fun when they were selling that. But alas, you know, as with everything, they can't sell everything. So anyway, thanks for bringing that up, Wendy. That was kind of a little bit of a trip down memory lane, right? Let's see. My son stopped by the other day. He came to town. I haven't seen him since like Christmas Day. So he came to town to pick up some things that I had here for him and to chit chat for a little while. So that was pretty exciting. It's always good to see him. His friend that's been cutting his hair for probably a year, she's getting better at it. She's not a professional hairdresser. She's just a girl with a pair of kitchen scissors. And so she's been cutting his hair for the past year. And there's been some times when he's come over here and I'm like, bro, that looks bad. Like some like super like way too short on this side and longer. Anyway, well, she's getting it down. And so he came and I was like, wow, your hair looks really good. And he's like, yeah, I think she's figuring out how to cut my hair now. So I was like, oh, that's good. So anyway, it was really nice to see him, and his little doggy came over too, and he was fun. So I got to see him for just a little bit. I think he's going to come back over, not this Saturday, but next Saturday. And him and my husband, I think, are going to go snowmobiling because we got like 21 inches up on the mountain here the last time it snowed here, which I think was last weekend. So that's a good start to our snowfall that we need in the mountains. So we're pretty happy about that. Yeah. Other than that, since my daughter's not here anymore, it's just me and my husband, and we're not that exciting, honestly. You know, he goes to work, I work, and then he comes home and we eat some food and we chat a little bit, and then we go in the other room, watch TV, and I'll usually do some work on some, make some cards, or, you know, I've been working on product shares right now. I got everything cut, all the ribbons packaged up, all the embellishments put on their little embellishment cards. And so I'm going to be working on getting them out of here tomorrow for pickup by the post office on Saturday. So hopefully the post office comes. Sometimes they don't show up when I ask them to come pick up my mail. So hopefully they'll be going out of here on Saturday. If they don't go out of here on Saturday, it'll be Monday when the mailman comes back, or letter carrier, mail person, whatever they're called. So anyways, that's pretty. Oh, Wendy, he's got some doozies of some stories. Yes. Yeah. Some days are definitely better than others. But, you know, over the course of he's been in law enforcement for, gosh, I've known him. We've been together for almost 30 years, and he's been doing that the entire time. So he actually, when people ask him what he does for a living, he says that he is in public relations. And then I always chuckle and say, he's in law enforcement. And then people are like, oh, I get it, public relations. So it's pretty funny. Yes, he's got some great stories. He's also got some very tragic, horrible stories. I think most of those tragic, horrible stories he does not share with me. And that's good, because I don't want to know any of the horrible stories, you know, the deaths, and I don't want to know anything about that. Things with kids, pass, hard pass. So yeah, I think he doesn't share a lot of the icky stuff with me at all, which is good, because I don't want to know. Like I said, don't want to know. Yeah, I know. Public relations is pretty funny. So anyways, yeah. So apparently the live is good. Yay, I'm excited about that. Our catalog, not catalog, new product launch party. I cannot seem to get that straight. Tomorrow's the last day, you guys. If you are in the group, the stuff will stay in the group forever. As long as Facebook allows a group to be available, then you will get to be in the group and you'll get to see the stuff. So tomorrow night we're playing bingo. So if you purchased a make and take packet from me, I sent out an email today with the link to that event, and letting you know if you don't have your bingo numbers to let me know, and I'll get them to you. We are going to be doing it tomorrow night. There is going to be a link put in the group as well, so everybody can watch it, but you can only play bingo if you have purchased a make and take packet and have bingo numbers. So, but everybody can watch that's in the group, so that'll be fun. And yeah, we've been practicing. We've got this new way to do this. It's called StreamYard, and we've all been practicing on it yesterday and today. And so hopefully we don't have any problems. Technology, you know, not always your friend. So we think we got a handle on it, but we'll find out tomorrow then, won't we? And yes, Danny Garola was one of our guest stampers today, so she did an amazing job. So thank you so much, Danny. We had a few other guest stampers. We had one of my team members, Lori Ballard. We had another one of Kelly's team members, Sarah Simon, and then one of Dina's team members, Karen Slowinski, and they all were very gracious to assist us in doing a project for the launch party, and they all did amazing. So yeah, if you guys are in the group and you happen to watch their videos, please subscribe to their channel, show them a little bit of love. We would really, really appreciate it. Speaking of subscribing, subscribe to my channel right now. I think there's a subscribe button down there somewhere. If you're not already subscribed, subscribe. Just saying. Okay. I think I'm going to flip the camera now because, like I said, I lead a very boring life, which I guess is a good thing. So we're going to flip the camera, do a teeny bit of housekeeping, and then I've got some really super cute cards using the terrific toadstools because they are super cute. Okay, here we go. And then if you think about it and you are... What? Can you guys still see me? I'm telling you, technology is going to be the death of me. If I die suddenly, it's going to be because technology killed me. I'm hoping that it's still going. So I'm back. So I did screw up. Oh my gosh, what the heck? It's not even, usually it's when it's really hot outside, then the Wi-Fi goes a little wonky. It's not even windy. There's nothing going on. Why would the Wi-Fi do that to me? Annoying. Anyway. Hello to all of you girls joining us tonight. Thank you. Hello, Jan. I see you on here. And Judy and Patricia and Kathleen and Debbie and Deborah, Cheryl and Wendy and Carol and I can't keep going. Bonnie and Joanne and Dolly. Oh, Joanne said her dad was a detective. Oh my gosh, I bet her dad had some serious stories. Yeah. Okay, so we already talked about the launch party and the bingo event that's coming up tomorrow night. I'm sure Dina and Kelly will also be sending out emails with information if you need that information. So, but again, the link will be put in the group also, and you should get an email with the information too. Okay, roll that over. In case you've forgotten, joining Stampin' Up! During celebration is like one of the best times to do it. And when you do join, you can choose two options. You either can choose to get the handmade design stamp set and 2 sets of Stampin' Right markers, whatever color families you want, or you can choose to get an additional $30 in your kit. So everyone starts out getting $125 of product, their choice, and then everyone has the option to either choose to add this with 2 markers or $30 more. It's entirely up to you. This bundle here is worth about $91, so it'd be the best deal. And these are our new style markers with our really nice bullet tip. You can see that. We used to have a teeny tiny little writing tip that honestly wasn't that great. So I was very excited when they switched to these little bullet tip markers. They're so much better. So that is the joining special right now, which is always a good deal. And of course, we have our 3 brand new publications that you can order from to earn your free celebration products. You can order from the January to April mini catalog, the online exclusives that were released January 7th, and the scrapbooking brochure that came out January 7th. This is only an online digital version. There is no hard copy of that unless you want to print it out. So just be aware of that. All right, and then the online exclusives. I mentioned this last week, but I have this nice little printable PDF on my blog in my blog store, which is barbstamps.com/shop. If you're interested in downloading that, it's totally free. It should be one of the very first things you see when you get to that barbstamps.com/shop. And you can see all the fun things that are released with the online exclusives. And there are just a ton of things. And some of those deals where, a person just can't buy everything. I want to buy everything, but you can't. All right. So today is going to be a 2-week kit class. So if you order $50 in my online store, but you might as well go $60 to get a celebration product. Between now and the 29th, and I don't think I changed it in the description of this video, so I will do that when I am done. So you have until the 29th of January to get the cards I'm going to make tonight. Here's the host code to use if you do place your order in my online store and it's less than $150. Please use the host code. And like I said, if you're going to order 50, you might as well order 60. And if you order 60, I recommend getting these little gems if you haven't gotten them already for free, because I'm going to be using them on the cards tonight. But I can't give everybody these because I'd have to order a lot of stuff to give everybody these. So I recommend you get these. And then I will gift you a random embellishment, and I have quite a few to choose from. So if you have a specific one in mind, if you place a $75 order in my store, let me know, and I will absolutely put your name on this, and you can have it. Okay? All right. Cheryl just asked me a question. She said, Barb, are you getting cold weather now? Yeah, we are. It's getting a little colder, Cheryl, for sure. Okay, so again, 2-week class kit. I will change the description of the video to state that. All right, everyone who orders in my online store does get this PDF from me. It's the Friends of the Ocean. There are 10 projects with pictures and directions and dimensions, and everybody who orders from me gets that. If your order is $50 or more, then you also get this Global Creative tutorial, which is a mixture of all the new products. And as always, I'm letting you guys know you can join my VIP group if you have ordered anything from me in the past, a class kit, something out of my online store, the make and take pack for the launch party, whatever. If you've ordered something from me, please go ahead and join my VIP Facebook group. I share tons and tons of project inspiration. I give away prizes every month, and we just have a good time in there. So there you go. All right, Stamp Happy Academy members will get the PDF to the Make and Take packet. So if you are a member of Stamp Happy Academy, you will get the PDF file automatically in Stamp Happy Academy. And Stamp Happy Academy is a subscription website that Dina Kelly and I do together. And we have 3 live presentations every month using lots of different designer series papers, showing you different techniques, different layouts, different fun folds, all that kind of fun stuff. And then we also upload most of our classes. I mean, there are some things we do independently that we don't upload, but most of the things that we do together and these live classes that we do during the week, those are all on there as well. So check it out if you're interested. Adhesive kits, I still have adhesive kits. I probably always will because, I do sell a few of them. So if you're interested in that, let me know. My Amazon store is up and running. This is what you would see when you go to my store here, amazon.com/shop/Barb Stamps. And I have 5 different categories of junk. Not really junk, it's good stuff. I've got crafty favorites, my random favorite beauty products, which I am very minimal in beauty products, so there's not that much in there. Fun things for treat packaging, just random favorites around the house, and then items I like to use in my office. So check that out. And finally, this month, I alone am adding to my already busy schedule a mixed media florals class to go. All right. It's going to be amazing. The mixed media florals is a fantastic stamp set. There's actually, this is a suite. So there's the mixed florals and the mixed labels. They're both bundles. They come with dies. Not come with, they're bundled with dies. So you do need both of them to take the class. I mean, unless you just want to use some random sentiments, you can totally do that. But this is my class for the month of January, and your Precut Cardstock Kit, this is what you'll get in your Precut Cardstock Kit. You will get cardstock pieces already cut to do 8 cards, 2 of 4 designs, so you have 8 total cards. You're also going to get some low profile dots, a couple yards of each of these 3 ribbons. We've got the white woven, the Shy Shamrock, and then the Fresh Freesia from Celebration. You get envelopes for all of your cards, and you'll get a half a pack of this beautiful Mixed Media Florals Designer Series paper. Okay, so like I said, you make 2 of every card, and you get envelopes with it also. And here's the back sides. Lots of fun in these patterns. All right, plus the card kit, and the shipping is also included, and you get all of that, and then you get a PDF tutorial from me that has pictures, dimensions, directions, and videos for every project. So a pretty good deal for only $45. So I do have a link, the first thing in the description of this video, so do check it out. I'm going to share with you a couple of the cards that are actually in the class. These are 2 of the cards that are actually in the class. I have to stamp a sentiment here. So if you're interested in the class, just know that you'll be stamping a sentiment there. You'll get all the pre-cut cardstock pieces. I will even emboss these 2 layers for you. This is the plaster painting folder, and I'm going to do that for you on these 2 cards. There's going to be 2 other cards that you will make, and you can kind of see sneak peeks of them here and here on my little piece of paper. So those are the 4 cards. Now, I do have a few extra cards to share with you just for fun, and they will be at on the PDF, not with directions and dimensions, but just pictures, so you can kind of remember what to do. So I'm going to throw this one in there. This is a really pretty one that I just made the other day. This was something I made for my team meeting. We had a mystery stamping challenge. What the heck? I'm trying to figure out how to open this, and I already forgot. It's just kind of a fun fold with a belly band. We've got this one. This is one that I kind of did for the kickoff, which was really fun, or the launch party. And then we have this beautiful one here. So I will have a few extra samples to share with you in the file so that you can have tons of inspiration using these products. So again, the link is in the description of the video. All right, let me bring in my first project bucket along with, this is what we're going to be using, the Terrific Toadstools stamp set punch. These are in the January to April mini catalog. You can also purchase them separately, although I don't know why you would want to, because what would you do with them? Well, I guess this, you could certainly cut the things out. You wouldn't need the punch to, you know, it makes it easier, but you don't have to have it. But I like to have punches to punch stuff out if it's possibility, because I kind of like punches. Now you'll notice that I don't have any stamps left in this case, because we are literally using every single stamp in this case in one way or another on the cards that I'm going to make for you today. Okay, so that's going to be fun. I always try to use as many as I can, and today I actually was able to use every single one of them. We're also going to be using the Toadstool Gardens Designer Series paper. This is from Celebration, and I will cut all these pieces for you. They will come pre-cut in your kit, so you don't have to worry about doing that. And like I mentioned before, I am going to be using the purple adhesive back sequins on the cards today, but this is not the embellishment that you're going to get for the class. You will get a random embellishment if your order is over $75, and you can choose which one you want. Now, if your order is $60, you can get this for free just for placing your order. Okay, hopefully that is clear as mud, as they say. All right, so here is our first card goodies. So we've got a smoky slate card base at 5.5 by 8.5. I have a layer of smoky slate that is 4 by 5 1/4. Layer of white for the inside, also 4 by 5 1/4. Excuse me. Then I have a layer of pretty in pink, and this measures, what is it, 1 3/8 by 5 1/4. This pattern of the Designer Series paper, and this is a 1 1/4 by 5 1/4. Is that right? 1 1/4. No, it's 1 1/8. I thought that didn't sound right. So this is 1 3/8. This is 1 1/8. They're both 5 1/4 inches long. And then we have this little piece here that is a 2 by 4. You're also going to get a 2 3/8 inch circle in the kit, and you're going to get some of this fresh freesia ribbon to do a little fun thing with. And then finally, we're going to have a little 1/2 inch strip of the same pattern of paper that we're going to use on the inside piece for the card. So the card itself is pretty simple to put together. So I'm just going to kind of do a little bit of assembly here. So I've got the 1 1/8 inch Designer Series paper, and I'm going to add that to this 1 3/8 inch piece, trying to center it as best we can. Eyeballs, always not that great. And then we're going to take this piece of the Designer Series paper, and we're going to add this to the layer. And you're going to put it, I don't know, like 3/4 of an inch, maybe from the edge. Something like that. Okay. And then this, we're going to put across here. You can see I might have a little tiny bit I'm going to have to chop off, but not too much. So we're going to add that. And I thought about doing something in the background of this cardstock here, but there wasn't really anything in the stamp set that I wanted to put back there. I tried like an embossing folder. It just seemed like it was too busy with this fun paper, and then what we're going to do on this little circle. It just seemed like it was too much to add anything else to the back. But I do like to have an extra layer. I just feel like it looks a little more polished, a little more finished. The cards do when you do that. So, all right. So we are going to do this little circle. I need a scratch paper. Here we go. And I'm also going to bring in a foam mat. Of course, we do sell these in the catalog, if you were wondering. They have a nice little Stampin' Up! Logo on them. It's called a piercing mat. That's how you can find it in the online store. You can type in the word piercing, and it should pop up for you. All right, so what do I need for this particular card? I need the grassy piece. And I need the sentiment that says you are magical. I need, where are, here is one of the, I guess, I'm going to call it a mushroom. I guess the technical term might be toadstool, but I'm going to call it a mushroom. I need the stalk of the mushroom, and I've got the cap, and I think that's all I need for this particular card. So the colors that we're going to be using for these cards is Pretty in Pink, Pumpkin Pie, Granny Apple Green, Fresh Freesia, Smoky Slate, and Melon Mambo. So those are kind of the colors that I'm going to like incorporate into these cards. They're all going to be somewhat the same color scheme, just because the designer series paper kind of dictates a lot of times what colors you do use. And so that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to ink up this little hill grassy feature here. And we're going to stamp it on the card kind of down here at the bottom. Something like that. And this is Fresh Freesia ink that I'm using. And then we're going to have some scraps in your kit. I need to pull some scraps out of here. All right, here's a scrap. I need a stalk in Smoky Slate. I see Noreen is joining us. Hello, Noreen. I'm going to stamp that little guy there. And then I need to stamp this mushroom cap. And I think I'm going to do that in Pretty in Pink. Pull that in here. So the mushroom cap, I'm going to stamp it like this on my strip. And I'm doing that because when you look at the punch, that's how it's oriented on the punch. So that when I go to stick this in here, it's oriented the correct way. Now, this punch, what it does is it crops everything really close. So there is no white around the edge. A lot of times when you die cut things or punch things, you'll have a little bit of white border. This particular punch does not do that. So if you want it to have a little white border, you might need to fussy cut it. Same thing with the stalk here. It's the same thing. It crops it out so you can see what it's left. So it leaves a little bit of the ink there. So if you want it to be a little bit whiter, a little bit with the white on the edge, you need to fussy cut that. And then the same thing here. It does crop and leave some of the ink on there for you. So that's just going to kind of be a personal preference. And actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, I did mean to fussy cut that stalk. Do over, because I wanted it to be a little whiter. When you punch it out, it's kind of thin. And so I did want it to be just a bit whiter. So I am going to fussy cut that, which of course it's not super hard because it's pretty much just straight cutting. And we'll just cut right around there, up to the top. The mushroom was Pretty in Pink, Cheryl. Yes. And then we will get this fussy cut out. Okay, so we have our two mushroom pieces. We have our circle. This is kind of dump that into the trash so that it's out of my way. All right, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp the words "You are magical," but I'm going to stamp them. I'm going to do the masking kind of thing, and I'm going to do it in Melon Mambo, but I'm not going to mask it because if I remember correctly, when I've done this before, this is one of those stamps that you can do this with right at the edge. So I can ink up just the word magical. Okay, I hope that's what I got. And I'm going to stamp that kind of like right here towards the edge of my circle. Something. Oh, that did work. Yay. Okay. Then I'm going to clean it off really well because I don't want any ink left on it. So I did the squeaky. I'm going to spank it dry. I'm going to be pretty mindful about that because I don't want it to still be dry or still be wet when I go ahead and stamp it the next time, because I'm going to stamp the words "you are." And again, I can see through the stamp, so I can ink up just the words "you are." And then we're going to try to center them. Oops, look at that. I got a little bit of ink on the corner, so I am going to wipe that off, because sometimes when I get ink on the corner, it's just a whole problem. And then we're going to stamp that right above that. There we go. You are magical. Okay. So now I need to add my little stem here. So I'm just going to add a little glue to that. And then I'm going to kind of place it here. And then I'm going to cover that up. And I know some people do this. It depends what you want to do. I'm going to cover mine up just because of where it's at and how much space I have. That's why I'm going to cover it up. Some I will, some I won't. All right, so I'm going to put a dimensional on the top of this cap here. Get that off, and then we'll just kind of add this right here. Like so. Pretty cute. I'm going to close up this Melon Mambo because it's kind of a bright color, and I can see disaster happening. All right, so then we're going to have a little snippet, about a 12-inch snippet of the Fresh Freesia ribbon. Dolly says she can't decide if she wants it. She's very ambivalent. Oh, Dolly, I don't know. With this paper, it's just the cutest stuff ever. I couldn't imagine not having it. But, you know, to each his own. Not everybody likes cutesy stuff, so I totally get it. All right, so we're going to wrap the ribbon, kind of zigzag it back and forth as one does until it looks kind of like how we want it to be. I think that's all right. And what I like to do with my ribbons is I like to put them right next to each other like that. And then I like to pull out a piece of Scotch tape and tape them together. Because I don't know, I'm very type A personality, in case you guys haven't noticed. And so that way I can lay this on. It might catch some of that. It did. And then I can just proceed to add some more tape if I need to get it stuck to the back of my circle. And that way I have it like that. So I'm going to bring in some scissors and I'm going to cut these off. Just a tiny little bit on that end, a little bit more on this end. Okay, and then we're going to add this to the card as well. And I'm going to do this with some dimensionals. Since this ribbon is kind of a little bit floppy, it's super, super thin. So by adding some extra dimensionals, I'm not really adding too much bulk to the card. There we go. And I think I saw somebody say that they just got it without the punch. Lisa did. Yeah. And you totally can. You totally can get it without the punch. But like I said, I just am a sucker for things that go together. So, all right. So we're going to add this to the card. Make sure that our words are, you know, going straight. And then we can bring in the gems here. And we can add a few. Whatever colors we want. And I think I'm going to go with some of these up here. Oh, actually, no, maybe these kind of Fresh Freesia-y looking ones. And I'm going to add a couple up here. And then I'm going to add one right down here where it says to be magical. And then I'm going to add this with some dimensionals as well. Cheryl said this was her first pick when ordering. I think I got this on my very first order too, Cheryl. It's just, I don't know, it was just so cute. And the paper, I just can't get over how cute the paper is. And there's so many patterns in the paper that are not, you know, toadstooly. So, yeah, the paper could literally go with almost anything you wanted to put it with. Okay, so then the inside, I already got this kind of done. So what I did was, this is the strip that's going to go here at the bottom. And what I did was I kind of laid it on there so that it was flush on all sides. And then I scooched it down just a hair and I drew a pencil line right above it. And that way I kind of knew where to stamp my ground. So you can kind of still see my pencil line is still right in there because my paper is going to cover it up. So I don't know if you can see it or not. I can totally see it. You might be able to see a little bit of my pencil line sticking out right there. Anyway, that's how I decided to do that. And then we added in the ground piece in Granny Apple Green. And then there is a 2 stock kind of little stamp in here. So I have the 2 stock that I did in the same color, Granny Apple Green. And then I added this little teeny tiny little mushroom cap in Fresh Freesia and this little bit different shaped one in Pretty in Pink. And then I pulled this happy birthday sentiment out of Simply Said. And I know that you guys probably have a ton of birthday sentiments in your stash. So I'm not concerned at all that you wouldn't have a birthday sentiment. And then I just stamped it right there on the edge. And now we can just add this to the inside and the card is finished. Yay us, right? Not very difficult. And again, you'll get all these pieces and parts cut. I'll give you everything that you need, except I can't give you stamped images. So if you need a stamped image, you'll get a piece of cardstock that you'll have to stamp and crop out yourself. So anyway, there it is. Super cute card number 1. Thanks, you guys. I'm glad you liked it. I am going to clean off these few stamps that I did use on this card. And I think I already got the magical already, but since it had Melon Mambo on it, you want to be a little bit careful, because that's a hard ink to get rid of, because it's so dark. So like if you get it on your projects, it's harder to get rid of it. Okay, next we have, ooh, this is a fun one. So this is a kind of a fun fold. In fact, the next 2 cards are both kind of fun folds. They're not difficult and they don't take too much stuff. And so I hope you like it. Okay, so for this card, you're going to get a layer of Melon Mambo that is 8.5 by 5.5, and I am going to fold this in half. This is what I believe is called a center cut easel card, if I remember correctly. I made one of these a super long time ago. I need my trimmer. Okay, so like I said, this is 5.5 by 8.5. So now what we're going to do is we're going to cut this. And we're going to cut it at 1.5 inches from both sides down to the fold line. I like to use this side of my trimmer if I can. I just find it's very convenient. And then I just have, there's a little slash mark on my blade that tells me where the blade is. And so I just stop that slash mark right at the fold line there. Come back, flip this over, line it up again at the 1.5 inch mark. And we're going to cut one more time, again, right down to that fold line. So this is kind of what we have now. We have this flippy flappy stuff. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold both of these back. I'm going to put this larger centerpiece into my trimmer at 2 1/8 inches, and then I'm going to score this. Okay, so that's what we have so far. These 2 guys, this and a score line. So I'm going to fold on this score line. And I'm trying to make sure that it's lined up on both edges. And then we're going to just burnish that. Okay. So then you're also going to get in your kit a piece of white. This is 2 3/4 by like 4 3/16. If you put a quarter in there, it's going to hang off the edge. So just go with the 3/16. It'll be easier for you. So that's going to go on the inside. And as you can see, we're going to center it. And then when we fold down these flaps, we're going to glue those down. Then we're just going to have this little inside. And then this is our kind of easel mechanism. So it's going to stand up against something that we're going to put on the bottom here. Okay. Hopefully that all makes sense. So then because you're going to decorate some designer series papers, we have 2 strips of this pattern of the designer series paper. And these both measure 1 7/8. No, that's a lie. These are 1 and, oh my gosh, I just lost my mind. I can't read my own handwriting, so I'm going to get a ruler, and that's how we're going to figure it out. 1 1/4. I think it's by 4. By 4. 1 1/4 by 4 times 2 pieces. Okay. Then we also need 2 more pieces, and I picked this kind of pattern here, a little bit more neutral as far as I'm concerned. And then these 2 pieces are 1 7/8 by 2 3/8. And so these pieces should all fit really nicely on all these little spots that we have to put paper on. So we'll just add some glue, and this is going to be centered in this little strip here. And then this one will also. Okay. That one is also a bit centered. Of course, if we can see it, it works better. Okay. And then these little guys are going to go into these little spaces here. Okay. And so I'm going to more worry about the top and the sides more so than I am the bottom, because our focal point is going to cover up at the bottom. It's going to cover up here, so it's not going to matter if these are not perfect in this particular case. Now, not everything, because it's going to depend on what your focal point is as to whether this will work with every card that you do. You might have to adjust the measurements of these little pieces. Okay, so you can see we have some gap there, but like I said, it's not going to matter because for the most part, it's going to be covered up. Okay, so that's that. So then you're gonna get, this is from the Nested Essentials dies. I believe this is the second largest kind of rounded rectangle. You're gonna get one of those, and we're gonna do a little stamping on this piece here. So I'm gonna bring in my foam, my piercing mat again, along with my scratch paper, and then this. Okay, you're also in this kit, you're going to get a piece of masking paper. We do sell masking paper in the catalog. It works really well. You can also use Post-it notes, but I'm just going to go ahead and give everybody a little chunk of this so that you can do the masking that we're going to do with this card. All right, so I guess we'll do the masking piece first. So the masking piece is going to be stamped with, and I have written the word back on the back of all the pieces for you. Okay, so you know that the other side is the front, and the front means that's the side we're going to stamp on. All right, so we're going to add this piece of ground, and you want to add it so that you still have some at the bottom, because we're going to hold on to that, or we don't have to cut that bottom part off, at least for this card. You might with some other cards that you might make, but this one we don't need to. Whoops, where are my crappy scissors? I have a million pairs of scissors in this, and I literally probably have 20 pairs of scissors down here. And can you think I can find the ones that I want? No. Well, we're going to have to do these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim around the top of this grassy mound, and I'm actually going to go into the green just a skosh. Just a tiny, 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 tiny bit into the green. I don't want to see any white at the top of this. So we're just going to cut all the way around the little lumps here. And then we'll be good to go. Okay, again, we don't need to do the bottom. So then what you're going to do is you're going to like peel this back. So what I like to do is I just kind of roll it between my fingers a little bit, and then it will start to peel apart. And then we get rid of the back. And now before the first time you use this, I like to take it and push it on the back of my hand. It's kind of gross, but it's going to kind of take away some of the stickiness because it's going to pick up some of your dead skin cells. I know, gross, but it works really good. And what we're going to do is we're going to stamp this same image onto the bottom area of this, and then we're going to use the mask to add our toadstools. So we're going to add this down here. So I'm just kind of looking through my stamp, and I want it kind of right at the edge so that I don't have any white at the bottom. So it's all green. All right. So now we are going to do the masking. So here is the masking paper, and I'm going to stick this on my card, on my masking. And you know what would have been a really good idea for me? If I would have done this in a different color. That would be way more helpful than having it being green. You know what? Maybe I'll just do that. Hold on. Because I have some extra pieces here that I had cut. So I am going to stamp that in a different color because that's going to be super helpful if it's in a different color. I think we're going to do it in, Fresh Freesia. Okay, and then we'll clean it. So you'd stamp your masking paper in Fresh Freesia, and then you would clean it off, and then you would stamp green on your actual piece of cardstock. Okay, yeah, that's gonna be better. All right, so I'm gonna quickly fussy cut this again, and again I'm gonna go just barely into the edge of it, getting just the tiniest amount of Fresh Freesia, because I don't want any white to show. We'll just come around that last little hump, and there we go. All right, so we're going to peel this back again. There we go. And again, I'm going to stick it on my hand. That's going to remove some of the stickiness. And now when I stick this on, see how much better that is that it's not green? Because then I can sort of see, because I want to have a little bit of the green showing. That way, when I stamp my images, they're going to blend right in, okay? Oops, hold on. That did not work. Got stuck to my paper rather than my cardstock. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to stamp a few pieces here. So I need my Granny Apple Green again. Here it is. We're going to use the triple stock this time. So there's a stamp that has like triple stocks on it. And we're going to ink this up. And we're going to stamp it once kind of over here on the side below. So you can see how it's way far below. And then we're going to stamp one up here that starts at about where the break is. So that's in the middle. And finally, our one on the end is a little higher and still having some of it go off the edge. Something like that. Okay. And then when we peel back our masking paper, look how perfect that is. It just looks like all those stalks are growing right up out of the ground. So then I'm going to take this piece of masking paper and I'm just going to throw it inside my stamp case so that I'll have it the next time I want to do something like this. Okay, so then I'm going to bring in Pretty in Pink ink. And there is also a little trio of mushroom caps. They're very small. They're super cute. And they're a little bit bold, so I am going to take a piece of tape and get any bits of dust off of them. I don't want any dusty mushroom caps, right? And then these little guys, we're just going to stamp them right at the top of all these mushroom stalks. Something like that. And then over here, like so. So that's what we have so far. Okay. Then you're going to get a scrap of white, more scraps of white. And we need to do a little stamping. So we are first going to do, we don't need this color anymore. We don't need the green. We now need to bring in the smoky slate and the fresh freesia and the melon mambo. All right. So the smoky slate, we're going to stamp a couple of these stalks. We're going to stamp the really stubby one, this little guy right here. We're going to cut that one out. And then we're also going to cut out the really large one, which is this guy here. So we will also stamp that. And those two we're going to cut out. Then we're going to bring in this kind of reminds me of a spaceship, honestly, this particular mushroom cap. That one we're also going to cut out. And then the last one we're actually going to use the punch on. So that is the biggest one that we have. And again, I'm going to bring my tape in just to make sure that I get any sort of dusty bits off of this thing, if there happens to be some. And then we'll ink this up in the melon mambo. And I'm going to stamp it on my strip. I think this piece should be big enough. Ooh, maybe not. I'll make sure your scraps are big enough. Trust me. Okay. And now I'm going to close all these up because, again, I don't want ink getting all over the place because that's a huge bummer. And again, this is going to cut out. It's going to leave some melon mambo on the piece of cardstock. That's just what it's designed to do. And then these three things we're going to cut out with our scissors. And so we're just going to kind of quickly cut around all these things. Not too difficult of cutting. This one's mostly just straight. This guy here is a tiny bit more detailed and straight, not much. And if you want to leave a little tiny white border, you can, or if you want it to mimic your mushroom cap, then don't. So it's entirely up to you how close you want to get with it. Sometimes you don't get the right closeness, so you might as well just cut it all off anyway, right? All right, we'll go down and around that little thing. Come up and down once again. There we go. Am I missing any comments? Oh, you guys are just saying that the cards are cute. Yay, thank you so much. I know I love these cards. So I hope you guys will too when you get your packets. There we go. And we'll cut around this one. This is the one that kind of reminds me of a spaceship for some reason. I don't know why it does. It just does. Kind of like, oh, what was that show, or was it Close Encounters of the Third Kind or something like that? I don't know. Speaking of that show, you're going to probably be horrified. I've never seen it. I just never saw it when I was a kid. I never cared. Okay. So now we're just going to add our pieces and parts to the card. So I'm going to add a little glue to this large stalk here. And then it's going to go kind of right between these little pink guys. So something like that. And then we're going to tuck this under. So we'll do a little glue there. Tuck that under and have it kind of be a bit of an angle there. All right, and then we have our little stubby friend here. And little stubby friend is going to go somewhere here. Not quite in the center, but sort of. And then this little spaceship mushroom cap, I'm going to do with a dimensional. Okay, let's get a little bit of interest there. There, so cute. Okay, so now we bring the card in, and we're going to attach this to the card. And so what you want to do is you want to make sure you only add some glue like right here on this layer so that the thing can still open and close, and you're not going to have any glue all over the back of this or anything like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and add some glue right here near the fold line, and then maybe just a little bit farther down. And that should be enough to hold that into place. Okay, so we're just trying to sort of center it so that it's equal on both sides and here, like that. So that's what we have so far, our little easel piece. So now we need to decorate this little guy here. And so this little guy, about 1/8 of an inch on both sides, is going to be covered by these two side flaps. So just keep that in mind when you're doing your stamping, that some of that's going to be covered. So don't get anything like right to the very edge that you wouldn't want to get covered up. So we are going to do a bit of the same kind of thing that we did on the front here. And we're going to add our grassy knoll. I guess we'll call it a grassy knoll. I don't know what it's called. Right there. And then I'm going to pull out the just a little thank you stamp. And I'm going to add that so that it is about 1/4 inch from the edge and just right above my grassy knoll. Something like that. All right. Then we need our scraps. And we need our stem and our mushroom cap that use the punch. And this time we are going to punch them out. And we're just going to use them exactly as they are. All right, and then our mushroom cap is in Fresh Freesia. Where are you? And I think that that's clean. Yes. Got to check, you know. Ooh, that's going to be super close. But since it does punch some of it off, we should be fine. Okay, so here we go. We're going to get that in there. It looks like I need to ink my Fresh Freesia pad. And then we'll get the little stalk here. Okay. All right, I saw, let's see, page not found. Oh no, Bonnie. Okay. Give me a couple seconds after I'm done being live here, you guys, and I will fix that mixed media class. I don't know what, I have no idea. Technology is such a giant pain. Why does it have to be such a pain? I'm going to snip some of this off because I don't need it to be quite that long. Okay, there we go. And then this is going to go right over the top, and I'm going to use a big dimensional here because this is going to be our like bumper for the card to stay open. And so we're going to do that. And then all we have to do is add this to the inside and glue our flaps down. Thank you, Bonnie, for letting me know. Here I thought I had all my ducks in a row tonight, and I find out, nope, I sure don't. But it's good to know that you don't so that you can get it fixed, right? Okay. So I'm going to stick this in. I'm going to make sure that it comes down to the bottom because it is a little bit short, but it's better to be shorter at the top than at the bottom. And so I'm kind of centering it between the two side pieces here. Can you see that? I might need to move this over just a skosh. We'll see. Whoops. Okay, so let's add some glue to both of these flaps. And then we're just going to fold them down, and we're going to make sure that they're flush on this side right here. That's what we're most worried about, is that it's flush on the edge. Because if it's not flush on the edge, then it's going to look a little wonky. And we'll do this. Same thing, make sure that it's flush on the edge. And then we'll do that. And I think I am going to move this over. So I'm going to kind of pull this off. I should be able to get it off. Yes. And I am going to tear off this dimensional, and I'm going to add a new one. Or what I'm going to do is I'm going to restamp this. That's what I'm going to do. All right. So this time I'm going to try, maybe I needed to just tap it around on those edges a little bit more to get it a little darker. That might be a little darker, so maybe I should have done this, restamped it anyway, right? Okay. So I guess the moral of that story is wait till you have your card closed before you put your mushroom cap on. So you can get it a little bit better place. Okay, so then what's going to happen is when they open the card, it's going to get stuck under that. Well, when you quit messing around with it. And then it'll be like a little desk thing. And how cute is that? So you have a nice little area there. We have this. And then, of course, we need to add some sequins to finish it all off, because nothing is better than little pieces of plastic that catch light, right? Okay, so what am I going to do with these? I kind of feel like I want something up there. I think I'm going to go with a couple of these. This is kind of pink. Whoops, missed it completely. Do that. And then maybe this last pink one. Maybe I'll put it over here, over here, over here, nowhere. Maybe I'm just going to go with 2. I think I'm going to go with 2. So there we have it. And you can open it. You can write a little message in there if you want to also. So there's card number 2. So let me get all of these things out of the way. I'm going to clean off a lot of these stamps because I'm going to be using some on the next card as well. Like I told you guys, we ultimately end up using every one of these stamps on all of these cards, whether we're doing it on the inside or the outside. Okay. We got some trash. We got some of this. We got all kinds of stuff here that's giving Barb some problems because it's messy and I hate messes. Okay. We probably still need our foam mats, but we shall see. All right, so this next card is called a bendy card. And it is super fun. It's so simple. You're not going to believe how simple it is. Okay, bendy card. What do I have? Oh, those are the back pieces. So what we have for a bendy card is a 1/4 sheet of cardstock. So this measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Okay. Then we have a piece of designer series paper that measures 4 by 5 1/4. And we are going to fold both of these in half. So I am going to fold them like this. So this, I'm just lining up the edges, folding it in half, and the same, this one actually I might score because it feels a little tight. Sometimes cardstock, if you're going against the grain, it can feel a little tight. So halfway between 5 1/2 inches is 2 3/4. So we'll just score that. And then we can fold that together also. Where is my cheater card? Yep. Okay, I just had to make sure I was doing this right. All right. There we go. So we have both of those. They're folded. Now we're going to glue them together. Okay. So I guess I'll do it on this. I'll add some glue to both sides of this. And then we'll get this added into the middle of the card. So you can open it if you want and just kind of, they should work really nice. It should work really nicely just laying it down. I mean, you're folding it in half, so it should be in the right spot. So that when you fold it together again, it will fold. Okay, so that's our card base. Pretty simple, right? All right, so then the next thing we have is this layer of white. This is 3 1/2 by 5, and we are going to score this. Whoops, I'm looking at the wrong dimensions. I'm sure that's correct though, what I said. 3 1/4 by 5. I lied. 3 1/4 by 5, and we are going to score it at 1/2 inch from each edge. Okay. So now we have kind of some parameters of where we're going to do our stamping. So we don't want to stamp past these 2 score lines. Okay. And I will need my foam mat again. And we are going to use our piece of grass, which you can stamp. I guess I shouldn't say you can't stamp there. You can, but it's not going to show. So just keep that in mind. Because we're going to start out with our little grassy knoll. And I am going to kind of stamp maybe past the edges, but it's not going to matter. Okay. Here we go. All right. So we're going to stamp grassy knolls. We're going to stamp one right around this area here. And then one more grassy knoll. We're going to kind of overlap them just a little bit. And that's what we have. And again, these are going to fold to the back, so we're not going to see that part. Okay, so then what we need to do is we need to bring in our double stalks. So here's our double stalk, and we're going to add that. I think I am going to use my mask. Does anybody see what I did with that? Looking around, looking around. It was, oh, here it is. It's inside my stamp case, right where I said you should put it, right? All right, so we're going to add our little piece of that. And you can see I do have some green showing. And I'm only doing this so that I can stamp these things kind of where I want them to be, but I don't want them to be super high. So you can see I came down into there just a little bit. Then we have our little stubby friend here, and he's going to go kind of like right next to that piece there. And what else do we need? We need some Melon Mambo. And we need our teeny tiny little top. This also kind of reminds me of a little spaceship. And our little top is going to go here. And then right at the top of that little guy right there. And then for up here, we're going to do this mushroom cap that we can punch out. We're going to do it in pumpkin pie. So I need a piece of cardstock that I can punch out. And let me ink this up in my pumpkin pie. Is this piece big enough? No, Barb, it is not. Oh, here's something I found that'll work. This is a random circle that was in my scrap bin. So we will stamp that in pumpkin pie. Oh, goodness. We're going to have to use the spitty finger to keep this in place. So I actually licked my finger. I know that's disgusting, but sometimes you have to. Sometimes you have to do the spitty finger. I don't make the rules. All right, so we punch that out. We're going to add that to the top of this guy right here. Somewhere right on the edge. Okay. I am going to bring in my sentiment, and this is the one that says "Poppin' Up to Say Hi," and I'm going to do that in some Melon Mambo. And I'm going to do it close to the edge here where we have the score line. So just something like that. Okay. And then we're going to continue stamping some other little goodies here. So I'm going to put my little mask back on. You don't have to keep putting the mask back on if you don't care, but I kind of care sometimes. So I'm going to stick my mask back on. And now I need the triple stalk, and that's going to be kind of down here, kind of like right in the middle where these things come together. So something like that. Oh, I did that. I always do that. I'm so mad at myself. I'm going to calm myself. I'm going to let it dry, and I'm going to try to get it off. We'll see what happens. If we can't get it off, then crying will commence. So while that's drying, and I'm trying not to cry, I'm going to pull in my triple mushroom cap stamp, and I'm going to do it in some fresh freesia. All right, who's crying with me? Anyone? Oh, I hate when I do that, and I do it literally all the time because I am such a heavy-handed stamper. And I know that about myself, and you would think knowing that about yourself, you'd quit it, but I can't. So anyway, we're going to try our best to get rid of it, and if we can't, then we're just going to cry. Okay, so now I cleaned off the tiny little spaceship, or otherwise known as a mushroom cap, and I inked it up in pumpkin pie, okay? So we have that, and we're still going to just leave this. We're going to hope that it dries and that we can use our ink eraser and get rid of it. So I'm going to stick this over here on the side, excuse me, while we kind of finish some of what we're doing on the front. So you're also going to get a little strip of Melon Mambo. This is a 1 by 6.5, and we are going to do some stamping in Versamark on this. And we're going to use this little leafy image that comes in this stamp set. So we'll just kind of throw a few random leaf images on here. And I am going to do, I am going to try to make it as random as possible. So we'll see. See, we've got Tony on here with us. Hello, Tony. Did she just see my giant mistake that I made? Someday, Barb. Someday I'll understand how I am. And then I won't do that anymore. Yeah, that's funny. I probably will keep doing it. Okay, so we have stamped this. We're going to score this also at a 1/2 inch from each edge. And this is going to be our kind of bendy part. So score there, flip it around, score there. Okay. Whoops. Trim her down, my folks, trim her down. Okay, so then where do we have my back pieces? Oh, the pieces that you can put on the back if you want to. You don't have to, but here are 2 pieces that you can put on the very back. And these measure, what are these? They're like 2.5 by, where is my notes? 2 each by 4. Well, that doesn't help. I think it's 2.5. Where's my ruler? Here it is. Yes, they're 2.5 by 4. And if you want to, you can glue those to the back. You can't like put a single piece on here because obviously it has to bend, but you can glue these 2 down if you want to. And I just did a little stamping on there. Nothing super crazy. I did use that little ladybug, and you might notice that the ladybug has a spaceship cap on it because the ladybug is just solid. It doesn't have anything. So I just fussy cut out the little spaceship mushroom cap, and then I added that on there so that my ladybug has some dimension. Okay, we are going to bring this back in, and we are going to try to get some of this green ink off of here. I don't know, it's pretty dark. I'm going to do my best to get it off. And when I use these erasers, I kind of erase just a tiny bit, and then I brush it off with my hand so that I can sort of see what I've got left here. I don't think there's any saving this. Honestly, I really don't. Ugh. Well, I'm going to have to remake it. And then when I actually post the pictures on my blog and put them in the PDF, this won't be here. It'll be gone. Because that's just, I don't want to go through all the way through my cardstock. I mean, it's taking some of the ink off, but this is a big mistake. And if I go too hard, I think I'm going to go all the way through my cardstock. And I don't want to do that either. Boy, I'm mad at myself. Okay, well, you guys all know it's not supposed to be there, and it won't be there. All right. I'll try, Cheryl. Cheryl said to put a gem there, and I'll try. I don't know if the green's going to show through the gem. It might. All right, so now that we have it all stamped and everything, we are going to score it. Well, actually, you could just fold it if you wanted to. We're going to fold it in half. Whoops, we need to fold it in half backwards. If you want to score it, you can, but folding it in half works just great. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to stick this on, and we're going to line up those score lines. Like we have this score line here in the middle, and then we have our score line here in the middle. We're going to line those up. All right, so we're going to add glue to both of these edges. Okay, and then we're going to come in, and we're going to stick that right into the fold lines that are already there. And then we're going to press that down. Okay, so that's all we've done now. So now you can sort of see this is it kind of does this kind of little motion here. Boy, it's hard not to see that big streak of green, right? Okay, so that's what we have. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take these pieces on our Melon Mambo, and we're going to fold those back. We're going to add a little glue to each of these. And then these are going to go right down here at the bottom. So right in the corner at the bottom on this side, and right at the corner on the bottom on this other side. Okay. I think you can get that out of here now. So it does go flat if you want to mail it, but then it also pops up and does this kind of action. So you've got this kind of bendy front. You've got this thing popping out. You've got the back side if you want to write some notes on it. And how stinking cute is that? It would be even cuter if it didn't have that. Oh, I have something else on there. I think that might be glue. Get an adhesive eraser. Yeah, that's just glue. Okay, so that's super cute. But now we need to put some gems on. All righty. I don't know if a gem's going to work right there, Cheryl. It seems like a weird place to put a gem. I'm just going to wing it, and I'm just going to do what I'm going to do, and I'm going to go with these whitish ones, I think. And I'm going to put a couple up here at the top. And then I'm going to put one. Whoops, I didn't even pick it up. Oh, I did pick it up. I'm going to put one over here. maybe right here at the kind of the end of our sentiment. Okay, but isn't that so cute? So this is called a bendy card. And I hope you guys like that. Like I said, it does go flat for mailing, so it takes a regular sized envelope. There's nothing special about it. There's not really any bulk to it either. So there you go. Can I mask and put another mushroom? I don't know, Noreen, because it's green, so the mushroom would have to be green for it not to, for you not to see it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just going to have to redo it, which is not a big deal. It was a super easy card to make, and so it wouldn't be that hard to redo it anyway. So I hope you guys like that. And thank you again for joining me. Just another little plug for my mixed media florals class. I will be fixing the link in this description of this video, so hopefully that'll be no problem. And ladybug. Oh, I don't know, because the ladybug I'd had to stamp it in gray, I think. I don't know. You guys are amazing trying to help me, but I just don't. For me personally, it's just, I feel like I've ruined it, so I have to redo it. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed these couple of fun folds and then this other layout that I had for you tonight. Again, this is a 2-week class, so any $50 orders placed in my online store between now and the 29th of January will get this kit. And, a gold butterfly. That might actually work, Noreen. We'll see. And yeah, so again, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys again next week, but I just won't have a kit for you. Okay? All right, guys. Bye-bye.